It's Drawing with Alan number 5. Today I'm doing a sketch of Dr. Peepers. Dr. Peepers is a cosplay character that is in real life Dean Lacrone. This is a customized original character that he and I came up with, and he has embellished the character way more beyond the initial creation. Uh, and we are going to create a comic book with a lot of pinup images, and basically I think we're going to kind of make fun of an early Silver Age Marvel comics look to the whole book. Uh, that's our plan, and so we've been working on that off and on for a few months. Here I'm just doing a rough sketch of Dr. Peepers in more of a cartoony look that it's the same style I used years ago in the 80s when I would draw Captain Optimist. And I'll flash that up for a second if you want to see the cover of an old Captain Optimist, but he had spectacles similar to these that I'm drawing, and so I've just got a mechanical pencil and I'm doing a quick little sketch here. He usually has a excitable look on his face. He's a demon fighter. He travels in time, and he's a steampunk character. So you're going to see me do the sketch in my sketchbook. I just had a little space in one of the pages that I thought I could fill here. I'm going to ink it in. I have a few new pens I've been experimenting with using the Moonman T1 for this drawing that I'm doing. I've got some platinum carbon ink, which works really well. It's super black ink. And this pen has a little piston inside, so you put the pen nib down in the ink, and then you just turn the other end of the pen, and it pulls the ink out of the little ink bottle into the pen. I have another Moonman. Trying to remember, it's M2, and that one you have to use a little eyedropper that came with the pen to get the ink in there. Got the sketch almost done here. Here's the pen. It's got a metal, fairly heavy cap. It's like pin's like half metal, half plastic. The trouble I see with the clear reservoir, where you see the ink go up into the pen, the problem I keep seeing is that once you put the ink in the pen, then you can't see anything. It just kind of blots out the view, and it's all black. And so you really can't see how much ink you still have left, which kind of defeats the purpose, I think, of having a clear look into the pen, since you never know how much ink is left. But anyway, it didn't, when I used the piston, which you can see right above my thumb there, it didn't seem to pull in hardly any ink at all, and I did it about 4 or 5 times. So it's not getting a good vacuum suction when you pull that piston up. Anyway, it didn't seem to get but like 10%, 20% full. But on the other hand, I'd drawn a lot with that pen without refilling it, and it's still going. So that's good. Anyway, it seems to work really well. If you slow down and kind of bear down, then you get a thicker edge to the nib, and then you do a quick and turn the pen kind of sideways on the nib and do a quick line. You can get way thinner, which is pretty interesting. It's something you can't usually get with the little micro tips, felt tips though I do like those pins a lot too. You can see I'm not following my pencil sketch completely. I'm kind of improving it. My pencil sketches are just a rough idea for me. It gives me a rough idea of where things are going to end up, basically, on the page. Otherwise, I think it out more when I'm inking things in. And a lot of the drawings I've been doing lately, I haven't been penciling at all. I've just been starting with the pen to see if I can do it, if I can just pull it off. But when I'm drawing characters like this, I want to have a better idea of where everything's going to fit. So I'll do a quick pencil outline to get the edges where I want them to be. And I didn't knock myself out on this one. I just kind of went for it. We've got a lot of different contributors, we think, that are going to be helping us out with this. It's like a magazine-sized comic book. Some people are submitting images and some are doing little comic strips. Dean and I both are planning on doing both, doing comics and a bunch of pinups, and also we are thinking of different covers, variant covers, so that pretty much a lot of the artists that contribute a pinup, we can make it a cover and then they could order the book with their cover on it. We go through MagCloud and we'll send a link to everyone where they can order their version of the book, their cover. And we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to do some of the ads that Marvel used to do in the late 60s, early 70s. The house ads they would put in their comics. We're going to kind of do a takeoff of that with Dr. Peepers and kind of make it look like he's been around since the early age of Marvel. And then we'll do a Stan soapbox where he would talk about what's going on in the bullpen in the studios of Marvel. And we're going to do that with Fanatic Press as my comic company that I've used on my own since 1984, actually. And so we'll have, instead of Marvel, it'll say Fanatic Press. So here I am trying to work in some black areas. Like I was saying, the pen still seems to put out a lot of ink, even though it didn't pull in near as much as it could hold in the piston. I think they call it a converter, which is strange. But the fountain pens come with either a cartridge that you snap in and replace, or they come where you can refill. Prefer the refill since I can then use the ink that I like and know the ink will be black and smooth. I have a Waterman bottle I haven't used yet. I just watched some videos on YouTube and they were suggesting different inks, and so far so good, and pens. And I got a cheap $2 or $3 pen from Wish phone app, and it took 3 or 4 weeks to get. The pen that I'm using now, they said it would take about 2 months to get, and I got it in about a month. It was more. This was an Amazon purchase. It was about $25. But this is the T1. The first one I used, the M1, is pretty much clear all over, fountain pen. And that's the one you use the eyedropper. And that one works really well also. And that one, I think I got that one for about $20, $19 on Amazon. But then the one I got recently from Wish, I got 2 fountain pens. They look similar to these. They're just light plastic. And they had a little piston. It did the same thing. It didn't want to pull the ink in very much, but it's still working anyway. I have tried those. I don't know what brand those are. I got orange. They got a big clip for like putting in your pocket, but they're working really well. And I only paid something like $2 for those, and those were the ones they said it would take 2 months, and it took about a month to get. So if you go to Wish, that's where you're going to get the cheapest pens. You just have to be patient and how long it's going to take. I'm really rolling now. I didn't get into a lot of blacks. His outfit is pretty dark, and I just want to keep the interest on his face. So, also, I was thinking this would be a good one to add some color to in Photoshop. The magazine will be in color. If they want their strip and image to be black and white, that's still fine as well. But we have the option. We've used MagCloud we have a Dr. Peepers magazine we did a couple of years ago with photos I took, and we're really proud of that one. Everybody seems to like that one a lot. It's like, I don't know, 30, 40 pages, I forget. There's like 50 images, I believe, in the magazine. And then I've used it for other magazines that I've put together. Use MagCloud. They always do a great job. But we'll have the link on the Facebook. At the end of the video, I have a link to my photography website and Facebook, where I'm usually hanging out. So this is just a 17 minutes of me real time drawing. I usually speed these up, but since this one was only 15 minutes or so, I left it regular speed. And I've been reading from the autobiography of Norman Rockwell on some of these videos, and I think what I might do is just collect that into its own video, where you can listen like an audiobook, and I could just have a slideshow going of my work, or you could just have it playing in the background if you want to just hear my reading. But I really like I like autobiographies a lot, and I've read quite a few over the years, and this one is one I keep going back to because it was so well done. He goes into such detail in the early 1900s and his time in New York and getting his first job and working for the different magazines. It's just fascinating how he got his start and everything. But so far, the reading I've done, like the first 40 pages, is all like when he's growing up. But he still has a way of making it all interesting. There is a lot of adventures in the book. It seems like something on every page, every paragraph practically. He's into something, doing something. It's really puts you back in that time, the early 1900s, yeah. Here I am putting some detail on he wears these little medallion, like gear thingamabobs, and I'm going to suggest those. And we're almost done. And then my next drawing with Alan, I've already got another image completed. It's another doodle in my sketchbook, calling it Space Debris. And I filmed about 3/4 of the time drawing it. Now I draw in this little background box just to give him like some depth, and he's like in front of it, a window or something. And I finished that, blocking that in black in Photoshop, which you'll see in just a second. I scanned this in and then cleaned it up in Photoshop. Took out the other image, of course, that's there. The image on the left there's like a quarantine art challenge, and I only did a few of them so far. This was called Abandon. Here we are, Dr. Peepers, also known as Dean Lacrone, drawing and video by Alan Freeman. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again with Drawing with Alan. Thank you.